Hi, Gemini. Ooh, unintentional rhyming at gmail.com. How are you, Gemini? How's your January? Clearly, I'm a little late to the party, but I hope you'll forgive me. I'm excited to see what's up for you this month, and we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to do 2 readings as usual, but this month we're going to do the second spread as a 2018 forecast for you. So we're going to get just a quick kind of broad overview of the year for you, looking at the influences around you, what you can expect, what's developing, and most importantly and excitingly to me, the step that you can take to make this the best year that you possibly can. And I'm wishing you many blessings in this new year, Gemini. I feel, you know I do the channeling thing if you've been here before. And if you haven't, hi, thanks for coming. And when I was meditating on your energy, I kept getting the word expansion, expansion, expansion. And I feel that that has to do with 2018 as a whole, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see like some 3 of Wands or Page of Wands, Ace of Wands, just wands, wands, wands. I'm feeling but that vision, those envisioning wands. So let's see what Spirit has to say, huh, Gemini? Gemini, January 2018. What do they need to know, Spirit? That's a pretty perfect opener for what we're talking about. Okay, let's just see. Let's see. I'm getting ahead of myself. Lovely. Okay. And don't worry, Gemini. I will pen you down in just a second to look at your cards. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What do they need to know, Spirit, for their highest good? What does Gemini need to know for their highest good? Beautiful. Their highest good, Spirit. Money on your mind, Gemini. Money, money, money. Ha! Flipped right on top of the deck. 3 of Wands. All right. All right, all right. All right, Gemini, January 2018. This is cool. I shuffle a lot, Gemini, and it's always interesting to me when you have repeated cards. Did I not say 3 of Wands, Page of Wands? If the Ace of Wands comes flying out, like, I'm just gonna, like, I'm gonna have to pause the video and go put on a crown or something. JK, JK. Very exciting stuff. Okay. Wow. Oh my God, Gemini. Hurrah. Hurrah, hurrah. Okay. Gemini. Gemini, January. Just a couple more, please. What can January expect? Oh, I was going to say January. What can Gemini expect? That there's been 2 of these cards have made an appearance so far across all the readings. You have the Hanged Man and you have Temperance. I'll talk about what that means, but it's always exciting when there's a universal sort of energy, which the new year does sort of tend to invoke, right? I mean, there's a lot of power behind things that we believe in as a collective. Huh. And you popped out as your final card, Gemini. Check that action out. Queen of Swords. Okay. Yeah, you're definitely breaking out of for some of you, it feels like a rut. For others of you, it just feels like now you're really ready to expand outside of what used to feel like these are safe boundaries, and now they've started to feel like they're clamping on you. I feel like upgrade in your money. I feel like definite upgrade in your fulfillment and your excitement. But that said, I should show you your cards, huh? So let's just get them situated, and I'm gonna pen it down. Here come all the face, all the stripes. Whoop. You can get there. There you go. Hey, Gemini. Yeehaw. All right. So, like I said, your opening cards really do have to do with what Spirit was talking about expansion. This 4 of Pentacles is all about that I'm putting myself in a box. Like, this guy has a crown on, and yet, for whatever crazy reason, he has decided that he only feels secure if his castle, with all his land and all his ample resources, he still wants a castle the size of a sandbox. So, you're moving out of the sandbox, Gemini. These are, of course, general readings, Gemini, so some of these messages are going to resonate more than others, and because it's not a personal reading, I get a ton of messages and try to communicate them as clearly as possible for as many Geminis as possible. But I want you to trust your own intuition and follow its thread through the reading. Some of you, this could be, hey, you're breaking through old creative boundaries of like, I'm not ready for this. For some of you, it could be like, I'm moving out of a situation, like literally leaving my house because it was like, oh, like I feel so constricted and tight in here. But Pentacles are resources. And it's basically like you have realized that you've outgrown something. You've outgrown something and you're ready to go out and get something new. And here's the thing, Gemini, I feel like you can be really calm about this. I feel like just be adaptable. I don't even feel like this is something that you have to like fire on all cylinders and all systems go, all hands on deck. It doesn't feel like that. It feels pretty relaxed, especially again when you have this Hanged Man and that Temperance card here. So let's talk about it. The Hanged Man hangs by his foot, not by his neck, so he's very much alive, nothing scary in that name. But it is a sort of vulnerable card. It's like you are in suspended animation, you're in a little bit of stasis. For some of you, this is a pause in the action. And it does feel, like they said, it's not time yet to fire on all cylinders, it's time to get ready. It's time to lay your new foundation once you move out. Wow, yes. I just feel so happy about this, Gemini, like so positive that so many of you are moving out of this tight. It's like a skin that you're ready to shed. You've just outgrown it. And you're ready to lay this new foundation. I'm getting a strong sense that for some of you, this involves a group. Maybe a trio. Maybe you've been thinking about like, oh, I want to do this podcast or this creative project or this blog or this whatever, this business. It's different things, different people, but it feels creative and it feels like it's yours. And when I say creative, yes, it could mean that you're in the arts of some kind, but being creative can also be, again, like I said, this is my own business. It's just something that you want to do for yourself, regardless of the guise that it comes in. Spirit really wants you to follow your bliss, follow your vision. There's a very, like, you need to speak even though your voice is shaking. Again, not meaning that you need to go out and like, hey, I want to do a podcast, so we're recording this week. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm just going to do it. That's not what I mean. You can take your time and plan, like they said, but you don't want to wait until you feel like you're perfect. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many wonderful quotes, and I feel like I'm going to butcher them all, so I don't want to even, like, try, but there's definitely one by Hugh Laurie, who is one of my favorite actors ever. He's Dr. House and, you know, Blackadder. Like, he's in so many wonderful things. But he does do this great quote, which I will totally just paraphrase because I don't remember at all. But basically, he's saying, like, you're never going to be ready. You're never going to feel like, okay, now it's perfect and now I can start this thing. There's always room for improvement. There's always, you're going to get experience and then you're going to improve it, okay? It's like, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Don't let, how do they say, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, right? Getting it done is better than having this perfect, sterile idea in your head that never had to see the light of day, and so of course it seems perfect in your head until, come on, like, go out and you're ready. You're ready for this. And for some of you, I feel like you are teaming up with other people to do this. Let them know. Let yourself get excited. Mix it up. Like Spirit said, this feels calm. This feels just be nimble, be adaptable, be willing to like grow and shift and change. It does feel, Gemini, like it's hard work. For some of you, this is the fact that you're doing a lot of hard work, taking something on that's a struggle in January. For others of you, this is like finances are really tight. So it's like some of you might be having to tighten your belt and look at your budget. And if you're not feeling this way, Gemini, I think like Spirit's coming through pretty clearly with like all Geminis should look at their budget. That's never bad advice, right? But they're saying some of you it's a more dire situation where you need to make a change right now. And for others of you, it's just like, why don't we kind of like start the year off in a really positive way and look at the way we're handling all of our resources, not just our money, but our time, our energy. You know what I mean? You're building a great new foundation. So why not do it right? You know, fundamentals, as they say. It's like if you're learning guitar, you want to, you know, practice like moving up and down the fretboard. You want to practice like alternating strings. You don't want to leap. I mean, you can totally leap right into like, and I totally did, so no judgment there. You don't want to though, just like look up a song and be like, how do I play this? Because you're going to kind of thunk, 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 and it's kind of like you'll reinvent the wheel every time you start trying to learn a new song, rather than having those fundamentals down where you can just now look at the chords and go, oh, okay, so it's like this, and this is the rhythm, and I know how to do it. Yeah, Spirit's coming through with work on your fundamentals. Lay yourself a good foundation. If some of you are feeling like, yeah, I want to move out of this job or this limiting household or whatever, but I don't have the money to do that, well, then you need to combine these messages from Spirit and be like, well, then they're saying make 2018 the year that it happens, because you start looking at your budget now while things are either good or like okay or whatever, and tighten and save up a little something so that you've got room to grow. That's what they just said, room to grow. These are so fucking great. Gemini, this last quadrant of cards is just fabulous. So let me just show you. Here's you. Queen of Swords. You can identify any way you want. The Queens and Kings in Tarot have nothing to do with gender and everything to do with type. You're a creator. You're a creative thinker, whether you think of yourself as such or not. The Queen of Swords is the queen of the intellect. And she's just brilliant. She connects the dots. She's sharp as a tack. She's witty. She's brilliant. Like, she can come up with things in a flash. Spirit wants you to really give your... This is... oh my God. This is going to be a thing and you're reading like another unintentional rhyme. But they were saying like... I'm not even going to say it. It's too cheesy. It's too cheesy. Oh God, fine. I'm going to say it. Spirit was like, you're going to say it. Give your brain free rein. Okay? And I'm talking about your brain. Like, some of you, it's like, okay, you need to stream of consciousness right. Like, this is what I want to do. This is or you need to like get together with these friends and have this kind of like exciting, dynamic conversation. Maybe you even record it. Really kind of, they're really hammering home podcast for a lot of you, or some kind of like YouTube, something public. But this, you would be brilliant at this, is the point, and they want you to take the lead. The queen is, the Queen of Swords is like a general. You know, she is not some lily white soft hand sitting on her throne doing nothing. She's got a motherfucking head in her hands. Like, she will cut off heads and cut off people if she has to make this shit work. And I'm not feeling like you need to be harsh, Gemini. I'm feeling like they're saying, use your intelligence, use your creative gifts, speak up. Speak up and make yourself into, you know, feel more like the leader that you are. If you've been like thinking that this would be a cool idea or whatever, I really want to do this, but I don't know, you know, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I don't have the resources that I need, blah, blah, blah. This is your month to cut through all that crap and say, just like Spirit said, you may never feel ready. That doesn't mean you're not. Go forth and conquer. Go forth and conquer. You will be so happy and feel so bright, Gemini. When you're doing the things that you're meant to be doing, when you're enjoying the things that you're like, when you enjoy life, you are radiant. That's what this is saying to me. And so you should know that when you're doing it wrong, you feel like this, tight and small and like frightened and insecure. And then you have the opposite card of the Sun. Of like, here's me in all my glory. In some decks, a lot of decks, it's a naked baby, because it's like, I don't need armor. I don't need a fancy crown. I'm just showing you I'm the shit. Like, I am who I am, and it's great. You know? Not with arrogance, but just with shamelessness. That's the beauty of the Sun, with positivity. And look how fulfilled you are. 10 of Cups, for some of you, this speaks of love. It definitely speaks of love for some of you, because you have both the love card, like, and not just like 2 of Cups, like, oh yay, infatuation, but like love and marriage. Love and marriage cards. Could be a really magical month for a lot of you. Maybe some of you are celebrating anniversaries. Others of you are getting married, but I'm feeling like regardless, this is a wonderful month for your relationships of all kinds. I feel like you will feel supported. I feel like the community that you want is out there for you. Share more of yourself, as Spirit was saying. Like, be more of the leader. Step into the spotlight is what the Sun says, okay? Show up and give your talents to people, and they will support you in turn. This makes me super happy. Now I want to look at your year ahead. So let's see, Gemini. It's always interesting to note whether like there are any stalker cards in here. Hope you can see I'm going to mix them up really well. So if any of these guys show up again, it's definitely... Okay, you guys saw that, right? I wasn't looking at the camera, but that guy just like flew out. The only card that like didn't show up in your reading that I mentioned, the Ace of Wands. So Spirit is like, hello, yes, start your thing. Your big idea, okay? Start your big idea. So I guess I gotta keep these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right, Spirit. Thank you for knowing what Gemini needs to know for the year ahead. So what is it, Spirit? What are the influences? What are the circumstances? What does Gemini most need to know about, focus on, and be aware of? Past, present, future. And by that I mean the effects of the past. What do they most need to do in order to move in the most positive direction? In order to grow the most? In order to enjoy their best life, Spirit? What do they need to know for their highest good? Let's see. Okay. One more for Gemini. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising. What do they need to know, Spirit? In the year 2018, for the year ahead, what are the themes? What do they need to know? Okay. All right, Gemini. So what is it? What are you looking at? What are you focusing on? How is the past affecting you, and what is coming up for you in your future? And what is the most positive step for you to take? Wow, gorgeous. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, God. Oh, that is awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, I love this so much, Gemini. Okay, I'm really excited for you. Let's make sure you can see everybody in your spread, right? Okay. So, effects of the past. More confirmation that you're leaving stagnation behind. This says that there's a little bit of an emotional cost to it. You know, comfort zone. There's a reason we call it the comfort zone. It's dreaded, of course, for creative freedom and all those wonderful things, but there's a reason it feels comfortable. It's familiar. And it is scary to break through. Some of you are really, you're questioning yourself. There's a lot of, you know, this is a card of insecurity. This is like, she is not bound and gagged and chained up there, okay? She is literally just kneeling there with a blindfold on. She can stand up and take it off whenever she's ready. That's not a judgment, Gemini. That is actually the most positive feedback you could get, saying your fears are just your own. Your fears are your insecurities, okay? And look how magnificent you are. Look at you sitting in the future with the money that you need to get out of that situation, to grow, to expand. It's not all about money, and you're not like this acquisitive, you know, greedy person. But, you know, we live in a 3D world. We need money to pay the rent and, you know, to move if we're in a bad situation, or to expand our business, or to expand our skills. And look what is possible for you. Your choices are what create everything, okay, Gemini? Like, a tarot reading is kind of like a weather forecast. It's not going to be a blizzard today and then 100 degrees tomorrow. So there's a pretty good, like, trajectory for where you're headed. But the beauty of having a reading is that if you like where it's going, you know, like, cool, I'm making pretty good decisions. I don't really need to make any dramatic changes to my behavior. And if you don't like where it's heading, pivot. Like, that is the beauty of it, okay? Just like, you know, weather forecast, you check it and you go, oh, I'm not going to go outside in my bikini today because it's like freaking 30 below, right? All right. Look, I'm talking so much silly shit. This is the point where I always feel like I want to talk to you. Pardon all of my face. Okay. Hey, Gemini. Okay. I don't feel like you need to pivot, Gemini. I feel like you do need to release those insecurities and release the past. That's what your previous two cards are saying, to end up in this beautiful position. Now, the card's sitting in the position of what you need to do. What Gemini needs to do to have the best possible year. Be the emperor. Order, discipline, be the boss, be the authority figure. Run your life like a business. You know, you are CEO of your life, Gemini, and if you don't like something, you can change it. You have the power. That's what this is saying. Quite the opposite of this, right? Just like I said, like, it's just insecurities. It's not real. Don't trust your fear. Like, okay. Fear can be useful, okay? But fear cannot drive the car. We don't want to pretend fear doesn't exist because then we do things like jump off buildings and crazy shit that we don't need to be doing. Fear can ride in the back seat and be like, oh my God, there's a car ahead of you. And we're driving the car and we can go, okay, fear, like I know you're there and I know how to drive. I'm good. We've all been with an annoying backseat driver, and the best, the best way to handle it is just to be like, chill, bro, I got this. And you keep getting it. They can't do anything about it. Your fear cannot touch your life, cannot move things around in your life unless you allow it to, okay? Again, not a judgment. I'm trying to empower you. You're the emperor. I don't got to empower you. That's what Spirit just said, like, I don't got to empower you. You're the emperor. You have the power, Gemini. Now, like I told some of you want to do this in a team, and I feel like some of you are dealing with somebody who's a little bit flibbity-gibbet, a little bit of a dilettante, a little bit of like a dabbler, and they might not, you know, be the easiest person to kind of get a hold of or to keep like on task. And I want to tell you, like, this person is brilliant and creative and really interesting. And for others of you, they're telling me this is possibly somebody that you could get romantically involved with because there's passion here. It's like, I want to tell you, don't rush. I'm not saying it's not going to work out, but I'm saying if they say you need to move across the country and be my roommate now, like, maybe pump the brakes and just, you know, you're CEO, you can do whatever you want, but I would make sure that you remain in positions where you feel like you are empowering yourself and not allowing, you know, kind of like the winds of life to just blow you wherever, whenever, because I feel like this person is very changeable, which of course you are too. That might be part of the appeal, but they feel more Leonine or possibly Aries or Sagittarius, but I'm feeling a very fiery energy with that. And I would say make sure that this thing really has legs and a foundation built under it. You don't need to rush into this, okay? Kind of a theme for you, right? Like, no rush. No rush, but definitely things are happening. Things are happening. Your brilliant idea, all it needs, just like a spark, because the Ace of Wands is the spark of the fire, just the beginning. It needs air, it needs attention, it needs support. So if you put the order and discipline beneath your creativity, boom shakalaka. Don't get no clearer than that. And the key to this whole reading, right, is to look at how you work and to look at what you're working on. Look at where you're spending your time and energy. And if you need to regroup, reorganize, rejigger some things, do that. Take some things off the list and put some new things on. Take a break, take a pause, step back. Don't just plow on through continuing the way you're going if what you really need to do is like change the instructions. You know what I mean? Like, wait, I'm going to totally rearrange my schedule and my way of working because like that was inefficient or that didn't produce what I wanted. You know, this is the farmer looking at the harvest going, do I like what all that hard work that I did? Do I like the harvest? Or do I need to make some strong changes if I want next year's harvest to be amazing? That's your gift, okay? That's your gift. That's your goal. That's why Spirit was telling you to use your intellect. You're the freaking emperor, Gemini. Be the boss this month. You the boss, Gemini. Thank you so much for being here, Gemini. It is always such a pleasure to talk to you and connect with that very like quicksilver energy that you have. It's always a lot of fun. If you ever want a personal reading or even a year ahead reading, I have those up in my shop. All my info is linked below, including where you can find me on social media or email. I would love to hear from you, hear how this stuff is playing out for you. I really appreciate you. I hope that you're having a wonderful month and that you have a wonderful new year and that I see you in February. Bye, Gemini.